So this gap here between my workbench and my toolbox is where a lot of little parts like to fall down and hide. And I was just taking apart my ratchet and I lost a spring detent piece. Thank goodness it's under there, because this would have disappeared forever if it hadn't fallen right up here in the front. I'm gonna get a magnet. I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with that AVE channel where he basically goes and reviews tools and does some other stuff. I personally think it's comedy gold, but then you go and show somebody else and they just look at you like you're a fucking idiot because you're laughing your ass off at things they don't even get, but whatever, I guess it's just not their speed. But anyways, I was watching a review he did yesterday on this Japanese ratchet. It's like a little stubby guy like this, but it had a square drive in the back. And it wasn't a flex head, but basically what he had done was he hooked up his little breaker bar and it made it a flex head, but you could take that off and it was still a stubby. Now, I found this toolbox on the side of the road a long time ago, and it had this little cobalt flex head, but just the head. What I've been doing is I've been popping that little bolt out of my breaker bar and swapping that in there. But it'd be cool to just have this be its own tool that I could then add on to, especially with the little stubby. So I went ahead and took it apart because I am going to be welding on it, but I just got this idea to look at these from his video, and the gears are all in pretty damn good shape. So I think it's worth modifying and keeping. Even the little catcher bit stays on there. But whatever you call that, I don't know terminology. But anyways, I'm gonna try to kind of jimmy rig something that's similar, because the tool that he had was expensive and really nice, but it's made in Japan. I'm thinking maybe made in America with scrap metal might be a little better. I don't know, probably not, but I'll give it a shot either way. All right, so I'm back from the place with the helpful hardware folks. Got me this little screw and it was 99 freaking cents. And I know that's not a lot, but for something that small. Anyways, fucking lo and behold, I get home and, well, I got there, started shoving screws in the hole, and realized the reason they weren't going through wasn't because they were the wrong thread size. It's because one of them is snapped off in the hole, so I gotta try to drill that tiny little thing out and, you know, do all that. Hopefully I don't have to re-tap it because I have no taps that are that small. Anyways, I guess the first portion of this video is just going to be a how-to on getting a tiny little screw out of this hole. First things first. And drills, for the most part, cut with the front of them, not the side of them, so. Alright. That was actually fairly easy. I should have been more careful because I didn't really pay attention to whether or not I fucked up the threads or not, but I still see threads in there, so I guess let's chase them. Yes. Definitely loose. The threads didn't like that, but yeah, we're barely biting now, but it is still thread to bite. So I'm thinking maybe just for simplicity's sake, I might use this old head bolt from my van 351. It is grade 8 because it's got 6. I think grade 8's 5. I don't know what 6 is. Whatever, but it's made to hold the cylinder head on, which is quite a bit of pressure. So I imagine that's going to be okay. And oftentimes bolts snap instead of bend. So I assume it's a harder material than just mild steel, and it's also closer to the size I want. And I don't make knives out of these, I make knives out of spring steel, so I'm kind of conserving material, I guess. You don't reuse head bolts. They use these as pins a lot to hold things in place for different tools. So I've gotten this just about right. That fits in there. I'm gonna go ahead and trim off this bit of this because it's not really necessary anymore, and then grind this out a little more so it fits a little better. And then I'm gonna go ahead and tack them up and see where we're at about getting that square drive on the bottom. Alright, well, cut the screw to go back in, and the threads were still somewhat saved. They're definitely a lot shallower now, and that's probably going to slip out, so I'm definitely going to need some Loctite. You'll notice that that's a flathead and a star bit, just because I like to overcomplicate things and make it a different screw for each side, you know. Why not? Basically the plan here is I'm going to cut this guy probably right there. The radius starts. I want it to go through. I don't want there to be a stop on it. I want it to just be like a through pass. So I am going to put on a respirator because I don't know what this chrome vanadium stuff is actually made of and whether or not it kills you. So, I mean, I'm sure it does just like everything else, but how quickly it does is really more the concern. I can... Oh. Make sure you're throwing all of your sparks right on the really small, tight tolerance gears and stuff. That'll really make sure you have a quality tool at the end of this. You know, you don't want it being too clean, because then it's like, what good is it if it can't get a little dirty, right? Anyways, there's that. So we have our two main parts now. It's gonna go something like that. I'm just gonna extend that a little tiny bit, maybe make it about as long as this Mac one. This is the only like fancy tool I own, because I had a customer give it to me actually while I was doing a spark plug job on his truck. This old vet guy, and he I didn't have, so I was about to cut up one of my ratchets to make one of these, and he's like, "Oh dude, wait, I have one." And he's like, "Yeah, I use it." It's like they gave it to us. It's one of the things I used to work on. I forget what the vehicle was called, but he worked on some sort of military vehicle. That was like his job, and he, yeah, cool little bit of history with this guy, but that's the only fancy tool I own. Anyways. Sorry, I should have warned you to squint. My bad. Maybe I should offset this a little, you think? Alright, well, I got it all ground up and it's looking somewhat passable as a hand tool, I guess. I ground down the threads somewhat just so they're not as hurty, but I think I'm going to wrap this in... I mean, a lot of the videos he had leather wrapped ones, but I'm also hating how offset that is. I wish I would have paid more attention to that, but whatever. Probably just cut it off and go buy a new one of these adapters and weld a new one on there. From this side it looks lined up, which makes me think that maybe it's cockeyed a little bit, but oh no, it's just because this cut's way off. That cut's real cattywampus. Okay, so from the side that I first actually, this is the hard part here, getting this pin back in there without sending it across the room, because that spring tends to not like being messed with, you know. I don't remember which side was facing outward. I don't know if it matters. We'll see. I believe it was this way, because these letters look familiar. All right. Oop. You guys see that? Totally meant to catch that like that. Didn't work. Anyways. Oh well, I can still build stuff. Although that seems to be more of a supervillain power than a superhero power. Generally. I mean, Jesus was a carpenter, so that's like the best superhero there is. Oh, I guess Tony Stark was also like he was an inventor, right? Batman too, sorta. I don't think I'm getting two directions out of this, am I? Yes, I am. Something seems up with it, though. I'm gonna go ahead and trim that. So, let me zoom out. I went ahead and devised myself some sort of a little test here. I don't got one of those fancy torque checker majiggers, but I went ahead and ground 2 flats on this longer head bolt that I didn't end up using and bolted down the other drill press vise, let's say, thoroughly. And I got this 3/8 torque wrench, which I am going to, that's supposed to be there. I'm gonna set to, right now it's at 55 or 60. I don't really remember how to read these, I gotta say. It's been a while since I've rebuilt an engine. That's the only time I ever really use these damn things. Otherwise I just tighten the shit out of them and call it a day. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and reef on that and see afterwards how this whole mechanism goes, because right now it's a bit dicky, but it still works. If you get it in the wrong spot, it doesn't like to move, but I kind of feel like most of my ratchets are like that. This one isn't, but yeah, whatever. Anyways, see if I don't just... Yeah, the welds are breaking. Sorry, not the welds. It's just ripping it right out of there. So, alright, so new strategy, and if this doesn't work, I'm just straight up embarrassed about my inability to make strong welds. So, I just welded it straight about to the center of my fab table, a little bit favoring that side since this is where the torque's going to be going, and, you know, more leverage and stuff. I don't know. Maybe I'm totally wrong about that, but... Oh, geez. Alright, I should have... Well, that didn't work out well. At least I still have a stubby ratchet, right? Alright, well, before I start cranking on this, I guess I'll show you what I've done so far. Basically what I did was, I was using a 3/8 to 1/4 inch adapter, and I figured the wall thickness on that was too thin, and that's probably why it snapped here. Let me just go ahead and show you the comparison here. If it'll focus, there we go. So if you see right on that corner, we got a lot more material now, which is where it snapped last time. I also stubbied it a bit more. It's, you know, shorter now. I figured it's supposed to be short, and it's basically just about the leverage you get on a T-handle for something like that, and then you add something onto it if you need it. So that'll also hopefully reduce the leverage. Now, what we're testing it at is 55 pound-feet on the torque wrench, and I probably also reduced the like offset from here to here with that shortening of it. You know, for sure, but just a guess, I guess. Huh. Anyways, hope this doesn't snap. There we go. Haha. All right, I'm gonna go up all the way to 80. Maybe I'll ask like one of those AI bots what the formula for this is, because I know so little about this type of shit that I don't even know what to Google. I mean, I know, like, I guess conceptually how it works, but anyways, here we are at 80. Let's see. Actually, before we do that, sorry, talk to my pops for a sec, but anyways, so after doing that at 55, still seems to be as dicky as it was before, with where you gotta kind of get it into an in-between portion to switch that switch, but doesn't seem to have hurt it at all. Let's put it back on tighten. Now we're at 80. See if it withstands. Really hope I don't break this damn thing. Yeah. Nice. All right. Didn't break. Now we're way above like spark plug torque specs here. I think the highest torque spec on any spark plug is like 20 pound-feet. But and again, I know there's applying more torque than that. I'm pretty sure because the additional leverage there. But I could be wrong. So don't quote me on that. But does this go down to 10? It goes down to 5. Alright, well, I'm not going to bother putting a bigger torque wrench on there because it's not really what this is for. The suspension bolts that need done. So, I guess maybe finish it up, put a nice handle on it, or maybe electrical tape, I don't know, but it's functional and I freaking love this thing. This is awesome. I'm proud of this. This is cool. It was worth a Saturday. This tool's done, I guess, as far as functionality goes. I do want to pretty it up a little bit, but totally stealing somebody else's idea here. I like it though. Might do a little more to finish it up, but as far as this goes, like I said, I did have to swap this out for, put that guy. Oh no, it's gone forever. Anyways, nope, it's right here. The original one that broke was a 3/8 to quarter. The one that worked was a 3/8 to half because it had a much thicker wall around it. I might even, hope that maybe gave you an idea. What the heck is it called? Nipro is the brand that makes the real one, or the you know, the Japanese fancy fucking the cool version of this. It's like probably way better than this version. That's not just a fucking cobalt ratchet weld to do a little stubby bit, but yeah, that's the brand of that. AVE is the channel name that gave me kind of the idea for this. Other than that, I'm not sure my shout outs are doing much for either of them, but anyways, if you want to see more videos like this, please like and subscribe, and thank you for watching if you made it this far. If you do make something similar to this, email it to me or DM me. I don't know how any of that works, to be honest with you. I kind of just work here, but anyways, have a good one, guys. God bless.